Hey guys, Tat here and welcome to another Call of Duty Advanced Warfare video for you today. In this video we're going to be going over some of the brand new features within this year's Call of Duty, and of course we saw the gameplay from it yesterday, the 7 or 8 minute long gameplay, which just looked absolutely mental. It looked so good. The visuals were just insane. I think one of the best I've seen from any game ever, and to go with that, the gameplay looked pretty slick as well. I guess the only thing you could say against it is that if you don't like the futuristic style of game, then it probably isn't going to be your type of game. But I'm willing to give it a chance because it just looks so entertaining. And to me, this excites me a lot more than Call of Duty Ghosts did last year, for example. And it's something different. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a really good game. I think Sledgehammer have done a really good job with it so far. But as I said, this video is about going over some of the new features within this game, bringing you guys some of the latest information from Call of Duty. So this year the game is going to be made actually with almost very nearly a brand new engine. They have admitted that there is some small coding left from previous games just to make it kind of feel still like a Call of Duty game, but it is mostly a brand new engine. They have new rendering, animation physics and audio systems, and the actual facial capture that they're doing for the single player, so the kind of motion capture that they do for the face to go with the voice to make it look like a person's actually talking, is actually the same technology that they're using for the film Avatar 2, and you know how good Avatar 1 was, so that's kind of an indication of what kind of level we're talking at here. Getting more into the gameplay side of things though, we saw a lot of things revealed in this short 6-minute gameplay. We got to see the kind of helmet that they wear, which basically works a bit like the Google Glass thing, where it's kind of like a heads-up display displayed on the visor of your helmet. Now this is crazy because we haven't actually got a proper heads-up display this year in single player campaign. You're literally just going to be able to see the weapon that you're holding, and you're not going to have like a little mini map or a little bullet count in the bottom right of the screen. There's none of that because the bullet count is actually on this visor, which displays on kind of pretty much on your weapon. You can see it on the weapon on the screen, and to the left of it you can actually see the little like grenade indicator counter, so you can see there's like 4 grenades there and 3 flashbangs or something, and that's where that's actually going to be displayed for the single player at least. So it is actually really quite futuristic in that respect, but these are the kind of technologies that armies are actually really looking into to get the most out of their soldiers. So it's pretty realistic for saying it's set like 40 years in the future, because that is the way that warfare is actually going. Whether this feature makes its way into multiplayer, I wouldn't actually be too surprised, because it is in its own way a similar kind of new heads-up display. Just the fact that it's displayed on this helmet, kind of projected onto the visor of the helmet. If you don't really know what I'm on about, it's hard to kind of describe, but the fact that you can change what is actually displayed means that when you're controlling a vehicle, it comes up with the controls of the vehicles on the screen rather than the bullet count and the ammo count. So in multiplayer I could definitely see it happening. Like you can have the ammo count down the bottom like the single player, then just in the top left or the top right having the mini map, and that's pretty much your visor done with. And then when you get into say a kill streak or something, your visor changes so that it shows the controls or the display of the kill streak itself, which is something very interesting. I think it's got a lot of potential. And another one of the main features are the Exoskeleton Suits. Now these suits do provide a little bit more of kind of armour and protection, but that is not really the main feature of it. The main feature is the kind of boost jump that you see. They've seen it a lot in the gameplay, where you can just easily jump onto the top of buses and cars and lorries and things like that. It's something which is going to make Call of Duty, I think, kind of a lot more vertical this year. The ability to climb onto high ledges and different buildings and things will actually make the game feel surprisingly different. Now we also saw within the single player that function to kind of cushion a fall, so there was like a massive drop from the top of a building to the bottom, and basically use that super boost jump to kind of cushion the fall a bit so you don't die from jumping down. Now that is something again which is pretty interesting. It's got a lot of potential, and we can tell that this jump isn't like infinite, because there's actually a bar at the right telling you like how much worth of jump you've actually got left, so it's not going to be like massively overpowered in the single player. So I'd expect it's going to be even less overpowered in the multiplayer, just something which is going to provide some extra kind of functions but not going to change the game too massively. There are a lot of new small features within this year's Call of Duty. One of them is this flashbang that you can throw up into the air, and depending how long you actually cook it for depends whether it turns into a flashbang or actually turns into this kind of like infrared thing that you can see on screen which picks out enemy positions is the energy gun. Now, an interesting feature of this is that you don't ever have to reload. The gun will overheat if you use it too much, but you don't ever have to reload. It's just based off of energy. So that's definitely an advantage, the fact that you don't have to reload, but of course you can't use it like all the time because it does get like overheated. Now, not only is this going to be in single player, but this has been confirmed to be in multiplayer as well. So as long as they balance that, I can see that working. I do feel like it's one of the more futuristic sides of the game, because like energy laser weaponry is something you think of quite futuristic, and it's something we've never seen in multiplayer before. We've seen it in like zombies, of course, with the ray gun, but that's a totally different story. So with the laser energy gun, the exoskeleton suits with the super jump slash cushion fall kind of feature with the battery pack, which limits how much you can actually use it, the new equipment and the new vehicles, I think it's safe to say that this year's Call of Duty is going to be fairly different from any of the past, and definitely worth giving a go. So if you have enjoyed this video or have missed anything out, make sure to put a comment down below and leave this video a quick like. Thank you for watching, guys. Subscribe for loads more Call of Duty Advanced Warfare news and information. I will see you all in a bit. Ciao.